All right, so this is another one coming from Museum of Reddit. I did heroin yesterday, and I am not a drug user and have never done anything besides pot back when I was a teen. Ask me anything. It comes in from r/IAMA. I've never been a drug user. I drink once in a while and smoked pot years ago, back when I was a teen in high school a few times, and that's it. I'm 24 now, have a master's, and a well paying full time job. Yesterday, I was walking through Washington Square Park, where I pass every day, and there are always people there looking to sell drugs. Not in the park anymore due to cameras, but it is well known you can meet a dealer and then do the transaction elsewhere these days. They usually don't solicit drugs to you unless you stop to stand around near one of them for some reason or look like you're looking for something. Yesterday, I happened to stop by a row of benches to check some messages on my phone when a dealer on the bench to my right asked me if I need anything. My life has been pretty boring the last few years, and I feel like I haven't really lived, taken any risks, or done anything crazy, so I figured, what the hell, maybe I'll buy some pot. It's been a while.
Jeez.
I said yeah, and after asking me several times if I'm a cop, he gives me his number and tells me to meet him at a fast food place several blocks away, and he will hook me up. I say alright and nervously check to make sure I have cash and go meet this shady looking dude. We sit down. After he hounded me asking if I'm a cop, he asks what I need. I tell him I just want a dime bag, and he says something like, nah, sorry man, I can only sell half ounces. You can take that, and I've got some Coke and H. At this point, I didn't want to buy a half ounce of pot. I probably never smoked more than an eighth of my life, but I started considering his last words. Heroin. I've heard so much about it and how crazy addictive it is, and I've seen in movies and TV. I'm thinking The Wire here, one of my favorite shows, and it really started to intrigue me. I've always wondered what it would be like to do heroin. Out of nowhere, I say I'll take the H, and we do the deal there. I give him the cash on the table, and he slides me a small order of fries with a little stamped wax baggie in it, and he tells me to let him leave first. I put it in my pocket, then nervously race home, my heart racing, cannot believing what I just did. I held onto the bag in my pocket with my palms sweating the whole ride home. When I get home, I open the bag and dump some golden flakes and powder on my glass coffee table. At this point, I don't even know what to do. I know you can snort heroin, but it looks all flaky, so I try to remember how they did in the movies, but they always seem to eject it in the film, so I start Googling how to snort heroin like an idiot and do a little research on the stuff and how much to take. I used a card to get into a fine powder and move a small bump to each side, which I inhaled through a dollar bill. I didn't feel anything yet, so I snorted a small line, which was essentially half the bag. There was very little inside. I waited, and in a few minutes I had the most pleasurable feeling of pure relaxation and bliss wash over me. I just sat there and everything felt amazing. I nodded off and it was great. I had the TV on but wasn't paying attention. I must have sat around for 4 hours doing nothing but feel total pleasure. It was like a full body orgasm times 10 that kept going on and on. When I would nod off, it felt like I was in a pure, conscious, lucid, dream-like state. Sometimes it felt like I was leaving my body. At this point, I did the rest of it and stayed up all night, and must have been high for 10 hours straight. I might have slept at one point. It's hard to tell the difference when you nod off and everything feels so good regardless. Just the feeling of being under a blanket was amazing. I was blown away by the power of this drug and how orgasmic it felt. I never understood why people did drugs before and got so hooked on them, but now I see why. I have the urge to do it again, but I will resist and not do it. At least not for a long time. I understand the addiction potential and how someone could easily tear apart their lives with this stuff. Heroin is pure powdered pleasure. I actually feel proud of myself for having the balls to do something this crazy, and I feel like it was a valuable life experience and my window into another world and a part of society. I will never forget the day I did heroin. Now, ask me anything.
Interesting. I don't have any desire to ever try heroin in my life.
Yeah, me either.
Not even a little bit. There's no, curiosity could not get the best of me in this one.
Weed is enough for me. So there was an update. I don't regret this at all, and I see a lot of talk about how cocaine isn't as bad as heroin, and people telling anyone considering trying a hard drug to do coke instead. I've known and seen a lot of heavy coke users. Many have become addicted and OD'd, and I find it disturbing that people think that coke is acceptable because some higher class circles find it socially acceptable. I'm thinking the young Wall Street and college crowds here who associated with money and being cool and is easily manageable to use for recreation, while society tells them that heroin is for the poor and destitute and leads to automatic addiction and suffering. So I plan to try cocaine the next chance I get to compare the two in terms of effects and experience. Doing heroin was memorable and life-changing, and I know I can handle anything once. I've done my research on coke and know the risks, so if anyone has any questions or opinion on the matter, feel free to chime in. Whether it is to tell me I'm a fucking idiot or give me advice, whatever, this is an experiment and an adventure in life. I'll report back once I try it.
This guy's just like being a guinea pig for everybody. He's like, I'll try it. Tell me your questions.
Yeah. All right, so there's an update. 2 weeks ago, I tried heroin once for fun and made an Ask Me Anything. I have been using since and shot up for the first time today. Ask me anything.
Jeez.
Wednesday night update. I know there will be a lot of people telling me, I told you so, and urging me to seek help, and they were right. That's all good, and trust me, I know the danger I am in of ruining my life, but let's please keep this Ask Me Anything first and foremost. I will be checking out of an NA meeting this week, and I know I'm on the fast track to becoming an addict and want to stop it before it gets out of control and I'm physically addicted. No one in my life can know about this, and I want to stop it before it's too late. I've been using for 2 to 3 day periods when taking a couple days off, then using again. The breaks were in part to try not to get hooked, and in part because I had an unreliable dealer who charged me more than double what I should be paying. I got ripped off several times when I tried to buy off the street. My former dealer is the guy who I first bought them from. Today I met a guy through some internet channels who said he could get bundles, 10 small bags of heroin for significantly less than half the price my old dealer gave me for his most fair deal. He also happened to be an IV user and had a stash of sealed needles and supplies and offered to shoot me up. I had kind of hoped I would find someone who would, and he was a pro, finding a small hidden veins and injecting a bag in one shot. To quote Train Spotting, take the best orgasm you ever had, multiply by 1,000, and you're still nowhere near it. He gave me some new needles and tourniquets, and when I got home I tried to do it myself. After not hitting a vein countless times, I finally got a red flag and was good to go. I've injected 5 bags since 4 p.m. and the last one a little less than an hour ago and attempted to do more. Ask me everything. Forgive me for the delays if I nod off. Yo, this dude went from experimenting to just full-on addiction. So the reason that this was in Museum of Reddit and the summary that they give you is, in September of 2009, a Reddit user made a post about his first use of heroin. He snorted some and thought it was great, but was going to avoid doing it again to avoid becoming an addict. Within a fortnight, he was addicted and then injecting. Within a month, he'd been admitted to a psychiatric hospital due to overdosing on fentanyl, basically super heroin, antihistamines, epilepsy medication, and temazepam, and another opioid, and required several doses of Narcan to be revived. 2 days later, he was off to rehab. During the year he spent posting these updates, they mostly flew under the radar, and most everyone who actually saw them forgot about them. Until 7 years later, he dropped in with another update to say he's been clean for almost 6 years and that his life is going well.
That's wild.
This is insane. Just, oh yeah, I was in the park and this dude mistaked me, so I just thought I would try H because I had heard it was super addicting. And then it was.
I hope this deters people. I hope this is like,
I hope it does.
A lesson,
right?
For people to never ever
Not
try it.
do
So when he
that
was saying
stuff?
in the first story, he was like, "I'm proud of myself for trying this cool thing." Like,
I'm like, dude,
why?
go for a hike up a mountain and
What?
be proud of yourself for the view that you saw at the top.
Exactly.
You'll get a dopamine rush from that. Don't be proud that you tried heroin for no freaking reason.
This is wild.
I guess this is concrete proof that the movies are right and that it's very addicting and that you will ruin your life for it. And once you start, it's very hard to stop.
Yeah, don't do this, guys.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do this.
There is like,
Jeez.
the link will be down below if you want to go through his journey of all his posts. There's so many more updates. There's so many more posts that he has under his account, but I don't want to read any more of it.
Yeah, this was a hard listen, honestly.
It was.
Yeah.
It was tough. This r/museum of Reddit has like all the corners of Reddit.
All the dark sides.
All the dark sides, the crazy sides. There's like one of the posts is even on the freaking GameStop saga. Like there's a lot.
This post was from 16 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Reddit existed 16 years ago.
I had no idea. So 16, I would have been.
I would have been 10.
15.
Yeah.
I would have been in high school.
I would have been
I
10.
didn't know Reddit was a thing in high school.
Right?
Damn.
That's crazy.
All right. Back to you.
Okay.